It's been a while since you've seen me out in the race course. A lot of people are starting to wonder where I've been at. My last race was Challenge Miami in March, and I've been a little bit of a ghost, a little bit on the sideline since. Well, it turns out I actually had a heart attack during the race at Challenge Miami, and this is the story of that event. As Big Mets would say, hammer drop. It's going to be a lot more fun, a little more technical. I didn't wake up till 9:30.
Thanks everybody for tuning in. We'll catch you next time.
Kill me, Bob.
Tim Theo O'Donnell.
The likes of Tim O'Donnell, you can see him there.
I do think Tim's in a bit of a rough patch.
Thinking that he's done.
Come on, smooth, keep.
Likes of Rinny, Tim O'Donnell.
He's digging so deep.
Definitely one of the most.
He's going to want this cap when I get home.
Releasing some of the pain.
Close up the show and finish it up.
Thought of being not having a dad. It's hard.
What happened to Daddy in the last race he did, Bob?
Crash?
No, remember he went to, when he was in Miami, what happened to him in Miami?
He crashed, Mama.
No. Remember he had to go to the hospital?
He got a heart attack.
Yeah. He got a heart attack. That was pretty scary, hey?
Mm-hmm.
But then he came home and he was very tired for a long time, hey?
Mm-hmm.
But he's okay now, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to go outside now?
No.
You want to stay here?
I want to go to the pool.
Okay, we're going to go to the pool soon. When bad things happen, they're never in your plans, obviously. And this is no different. You just can't really comprehend. You know, obviously very grateful that he made it through the incident, which is, he's a very small percentage of people actually do make it through that sort of heart attack, which we kind of learnt later on. But yeah, just kind of trying to comprehend, this could have been the end, but also think, okay, well, it wasn't the end. And yeah, I don't know what we would do, how we would survive without him. So kind of having the realization that we were this close to not having him around anymore.
The heart attack I suffered was from a block in my LAD. It's one of your main arteries. Its nickname is the Widowmaker. And I had a soft plaque rupture, so I had plaque kind of building up in the interior wall of my artery, and it just burst and it filled up the artery. It was over 80% block when I was at the hospital. The doctors told me it could have been as high as 95 to almost to 100% blockage earlier, most likely at some point in the race. So I'm super lucky. I've been told the survival rate is 12%. For LAD block. My particular block was at the top of the artery, which actually makes it even worse. Yeah, it was probably about 2/3 through the bike, possibly lap 13, that things really, it happened.
Over a lap now, and I do think Tim's in a bit of a rough patch right now. Just watched both Rudy and Ben Canute go by him with no response out of Tim. Tim's just in a bit of a rough patch right now. He can come out of it, but right now I think he's in a spot of bother, as the British would say.
I started getting just chest pains across my chest, shooting pain down my left arm, and then my jaw started to lock up, almost like I felt like I had locked jaw. And I'm down in my bars, and I just knew, like, this is not a normal race pain. This is something more. And I just thought to myself, is this a heart attack? Literally, I'm in my bars and I asked myself that question in my head, and my response was, you wouldn't be able to be pushing 300 and whatever watts if you're having a heart attack right now. Like, you'd be falling over, you'd be on the side of the track. It just started getting worse, like nausea, and I just went right out the back backwards.
after the race, I didn't, had no idea anything had happened during the race. I just thought he was just a little bit off. And then after the race, he gave me a call and he just sounded a little off, and he said he just wasn't feeling very good. He didn't really go into details. I think he was around other people. He didn't really want to say too much. And I think he thought he was okay, but maybe half an hour after that, he texted me and he just said, all he said was, I'm really struggling. And that's sort of a strange thing from an Ironman athlete to say after doing a half. And Tim's not one to complain, as he's probably one of the toughest men I know, obviously for Ironman, but he doesn't really complain about too much. And so I called him immediately. This was like an hour after the race. So for him to be struggling still an hour after the race, I called him and he kind of went through what he's feeling. He felt nauseous. He couldn't hold anything down, and just like really wasn't feeling very good. And so I'm like, well, maybe you should go to the hospital.
Something I just said, I don't feel right. And she called me immediately and she's like, you got to call Dr. Dave, who's our primary care physician. And I called Dave and he's like, dude, you got to get to the hospital right now. And then I just started vomiting everywhere, just like lying in the grass. And Kenny just had to pick me up and bring me into the ER. And they put me on the table and, just went through my arm, started poking around. And they said it was supposed to be quick, just a few minutes. And it was a while. And then, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes, whatever it was, the cardiologist said, hey, we found a massive block in your LAD. And they cleared it. Give me a second. All right, ready? Okay. It's a crazy story. It's not one you'd expect to hear. Literally one of the fittest guys out there, right? Just coming off a podium at the Ironman World Championship. To go to a race and suffer a heart attack with no, I guess, really warnings. And of course to finish. But it's a crazy story, but when you start digging into it, it's something that actually happens a lot. There's a lot of healthy guys my age that, have the same experience. And I'm one of the fortunate ones that's, here being able to talk about it, that's lived to tell the story. And I want to keep sharing that story and what it's been like coming back from this. There's been a lot to deal with, obviously. Just a quick summation, just so you know, guys, I'm doing great. Heart's doing great. I feel a lot better. So, it's okay. Dodged a bullet and now we're moving forward. But yeah, for sure, I want to keep telling you the story. I want to give you more updates on what I've been doing in the last couple months and then the plans ahead. And we're going to be getting all of that to you soon. So thank you, everybody, for your support that's been supporting me these last couple months. And I can't wait to just be a little more present with everyone and bring you back inside to my world.
Yeah. Hoping to go home tomorrow. So, on top of it all, there's a massive snowstorm. Flights getting home have been impossible to find, but there's luckily one opened up tomorrow morning. So I've been clear to go. I had some arrhythmias after the operation, the procedure, and which is normal, I guess, but they've since kind of gone back to normal, and I feel pretty good. So I'm just grateful to be going home. I cannot wait to give Rinny and the kids hugs, and it's going to change my perspective on life, that's for sure. It's a gift.